The current pulls with relentless force. The stones scrape him, he belly, while he, the river narrows, foams and roars. Instinct boosts salmon toward up. A jump, save he torrent, but then a shadow. A sudden wall of fur, claws cutting the foam. This is the powerful grizzly bear, fishing. With a sudden charge, the claws sweep the dew. In an instant, the bear's jaws snap shut about his prize. The fight lasts a heartbeat. With a quick, the river still roars, but his journey is over. Such is life in nature, and this salmon, this far from being a victim isolated. Many will lose their lives as it passes he year in Canada. Far to the north, more beyond the tree line, the winter reigns supreme. The earth is trapped in he ice. The air this still and terribly cold. This is Hudson Bay, in the heart of Nunavut. It has barely left the sun for months. Under a pile of snow, a polar bear, Ursus maritimus, waits, has dug his den on the slope of a ridge, a fragile shelter from the howling storms. Over there inside, the darkness is complete. The air is stale, heated only by his breath and its fur. His body this thin, weakened for months without eating. However, she is not alone. 2 puppies lie pressed against her belly, blind, defenseless, with their fur so white like the snow that never have seen. For the puppies, the den is the universe whole. Here they feed and grow. Their tiny bodies are nourished by the latest reserves of strength from her mother. She has not hunted from the autumn. Every heartbeat, every mouthful of milk nourishes itself with its dwindling fat reserves. Outside the storms, they lash the bay. The temperatures fall to less than 40 degrees. Nothing moves. Weeks go by. The puppies open the eyes. They wobble clumsily by the floor of the den, playing, giving somersaults, testing their fragile limbs. The mother licks them clean and pushes them to return to the heat. Already this preparing for the outside world. Then, slowly, the station begins to change. The days are getting longer. A faint light lingers in the horizon. The Arctic sun, low and weak, returns finally. For the bear family polar bears, this is the signal. The lair has fulfilled his purpose. Now must be abandoned. The mother moves. She scratches the snow, breaking a wall of his shelter. A ray of light sneaks in. The puppies. They recoil at first, startled for clarity. Then curiosity that drives to move forward. It is the first breath of fresh air. The world open is dangerous. Puppies are small and fragile, and the cold is cruel. But the mother leads them towards the immense whiteness and encourages them to continue forward. The path we have by in front it is long. From the inland lairs it must guide her pups back onto the ice sailor. Only there can hunting. Here the mother stops. Her cubs snuggle up close. Before them stretches the plain frozen, interrupted by pressure ridges and pools of water open. The mother lowers her head and presses her nose into the wind. A faint scent of seal seeps from a crack distant in the ice. It is made he silence. Every step is deliberate. The puppies they wait back, watching, learning. She approaches the vent with infinite patience. They pass the minutes. Then an hour. She lies still. Below, a seal emerges. Needs breathe. The surface shudders. In an instant it attacks. Its claws slam down hard, explosive. The jaws clamp shut. The hunt ends in seconds. Their puppies they run toward go ahead, hungry and eager. Today you will eat. The mother remains alert, with all your senses alert to danger. Arctic foxes wander in looking for stragglers. Even a hungry male bear could be a threat. But spring is coming. The sun is rising every day. Soon the bay will crack and the ice will break in icebergs. The great hunt will start again. The mother and the puppies must arrive before that time. Their lives depend on it. For now, they continue forward with the latest claws of winter. More than 2,500 kilometers to the west, in Yukon, moves a northwest wolfpack, Canis lupus occidentalis. This is the land of mountains and endless forests. Here, the floor lies buried under the snow. The rivers are sealed under a gross ice sheet. For months, the days are reduced to a few hours of light. They are thin, restless, and hungry. Winter is the season harder for them. The dams are scarce. The herd disunited by blood, by loyalty. A breeding pair is the core. Sons, daughters, brothers, everyone depend from each other. Alone, no wolf could have some possibility against this nature wild. For days they traveled, exploring the forest. His ears move with difficulty at the slightest mild sound. Their noses they look for, he smell in a wind. Moose, caribou, any would serve. However, it is not easy find dams. Deep snow weakens to some animals, but also the hidden. Then a trail, a faint scent of musk in a wind. Caribou. The wolves accelerate the step. The hunt begins, caused panic in the herd. The caribou scattered, raising snow with their paws. The wolves focused in the weak, the slow ones. One stumbled among the piles of snow. The herd pounced about they. The fight was brief and brutal. The wolves seized their prey. They feed quickly, and each one takes his part. For the pack, cooperation is everything. Without it, there would be no dams, neither food. The young they learn watching, joining the hunt, but the winter has not yet broken. The days go on being short, the nights bitter. Hunger will return, forcing them to chase one and the other time. Some hunts will fail. Still, the wolves resist. Their bulk fur protects them from the cold. Their bond the maintains united. Inside the alpha female is born a new life. Soon, with the arrival of spring, the pups will be born. The pack prepares for this without knowing it. The mother must be sufficiently strong to bring their young into the world. At the end of winter, the sun stays a little longer about her horizon. The shadows fade. The snow, once dry and powdery, becomes heavy under its light. When it begins, he thaw. The herd will change his focus. The hunts will continue forcing them, but now they will also protect a lair. The puppies will be born blind and helpless. The whole herd will gather around, bringing them food and keeping watch. But that moment, this by arrive. For now, the wolves continue moving forward toward the frozen forest. Now let's go to Manitoba in the middle of winter. The forests lie buried deep underground snowbanks. Here the snowshoe hare, Lepus americanus, lives. Its paws are wide, distributing its weight and carrying it lightly by the surface. Its fur, previously brown in summer, now it's pure white. It disappears against the snow. Only her dark eyes, they betray his presence. The hare has to be always alert. It feeds at dawn and dusk, gnawing bark, branches, and shoots of shrubs sticking out of the snow. But the danger never this far away. The lynx, Canadian lynx, Lynx canadensis, is coming. He also has wide, hairy paws like were snowshoes. Its fur is thick, pale, and blends in with the trees and snow. His ears, hairy ones, move abruptly. Listening, he further mild motion. The lynx wait, hidden, watching. His eyes are fixed in a further mild flash of movement. A hare jumping between the bushes, a flash white about white. The lynx crouches in the snow with the muscles tense like a spring. Wait for the distance to shorten. The hare shudders, feel danger. Suddenly he takes off. His powerful legs propel him forward, zigzagging, turning and disappearing. The lynx comes out of its hiding place, but the hare this made for this. Her jumps extend meters at a time, her turns are sharp, unpredictable, and she escapes. The lynx slows down, panting. For each, there are many deaths, further failures. Today, it is the last case. Winter is a proof for both. For the hare, the food is scarce, hidden under the ice. Each calorie a count. For the lynx, each hunting failed about her hunger. Their survival, it depends on persistence, on the patience to try one and the other time. But the hare cannot conform. As the weeks pass, the days lengthen. The sunlight lingers, melting the edges of the snow. Its fur white, once a perfect camouflage, is beginning to give her away. She stands out on the exposed ground and branches in budding. The lynx also feels he change. Your world will soon turn further noisy and busy. The birds will return, the rodents will slip away, and prey will multiply. But by now continue centered in the hare. The cycle never ends. When spring comes, the hare will reproduce, producing litters after litters of leverets. For him, lynx, this means chance. More prey to hunt, more mouths to feed when their own kittens they arrive in summer. For now, however, both are bottled up in his dual winter. Now let's approach Quebec. It's February. The forests remain in silence under the weight of the snow. The branches of the fir trees are arched and frozen. In this stillness, the sound arrives far away. However, there is a hunter who moves in silence. The owl Lapish, Strix nebulosa. This is such a big bird that it seems unreal. 5 feet across, from wingtip to wingtip, the bird's flight is silent. Weight in a branch, motionless. The plumage mottled blends with the bark and shadow. It doesn't need to see, it listens. Under the snow, a mouse moves, its tiny claws burrowing, hidden from view, safe from most hunters. But not this one. The owl bows his head. Facial discs round like a radar, they channel his sound accurately. It can hear he further mild movement. The pulse of prey beneath 1/2 meter of snow, it locates the exact location, then it moves. A dive. Silent wings, they cut he air. A sudden inclination. The claws hit he white. As he stands up again, a mouse escapes from his clutches. The hunt ends in seconds. For the rodents of this forest, the winter is a refuge fragile. They dig tunnels under the snow, a world hidden from heat, feeding on seeds and bark. There below are invisible. But not for the great grey owl. The owl has to hunt constantly. A single bird can hunt hundreds of small ones, mammals, in a season. The dams feed his survival in the extreme cold when others' sources disappear. And in years of rodent scarcity, the owls travel towards the south, towards this, where the prey is more abundant. As the weeks go by, the days are made longer. The snow softens. The world frozen begin to stir. Mice and voles breed quickly, filling its tunnels with new life. For him, owl, the promise of abundance this close. Soon you will be able to nesting, laying their eggs early, trusting in which the rodent population will keep your breeding. The female will settle in on a dead tree broken, or will claim he ancient falcon's nest. While she take care the eggs, the male must hunt tirelessly. Each mouse caught means life for their offspring, and so continues he cycle of silent wings and ears piercing. But now, in the depths of winter, the great grey owl reigns supreme. Meanwhile, in the high Arctic, on the plain open, forms dark push against the storm. The ox muskrat, Ovibos moscatus, remains close to the ground, with shoulders huge and the body covered in falling hair on the snow. Their coats are made of kiviot, wool softest and warmest on earth. It is 8 times further warmer than sheep's wool, but further lighter than the air. Below, a dense bottom layer catches heat. The herd is compact, 20 animals, cows, calves, and horned bulls robust. Together they move as one. The storm whips across the tundra. They huddle together. The calves huddle together. in a heart of the mass, sheltered from the deadly cold. Grown-ups they look toward outside, with the straight shoulders and horns shining by the frost. The wolves roam by this land, emaciated by hunger. For them, ox-breeding Musk is a prize worth having risk. But the pack has developed his response. At the first sign of danger, they huddle together. The males lower their heads with their horns toward forward like a wall of living shields. No wolf can make your way without consequences. The tundra offers little food. Under meters of snow lie the last stems of rushes, mosses, and dwarf willows, the oxen muskrats. They dig with their hooves, scraping to reach some valuable bites. The young born last spring already have 9 months. They're still small, still fragile. For them, this winter is the further dangerous of all. The cold can kill, also the hunger and wolves. Only the shield of the pack that keeps them alive. Their mothers. They watch, without moving away, never, always pushing them toward inside when he wind is raging. But still thus, the winter the pushes to the edge of the abyss. When storms rage, they don't move. They just stand there, heads bowed, body prepared, waiting for the fury to pass. The snow piles up on their backs, freezing, forming ice crusts. It can take hours, days even. When the blizzard finally subsides, they are released, their dense fur throwing snow in the wind, and then they return to feeding, scraping, chewing, surviving. The Arctic fox sometimes the go on. Crows also fly in circles, knowing where they are. Ox, musk, and wolf can have carrion, but the herd resist. As the weeks pass, the sun rises, the light returns, the storms shorten. The once fragile calves gain strength. Soon the cows they will weigh again, loading the next one generation. In late spring, the new calves will land in the tundra. Summer will bring brief moments of abundance, sprouts green, cool streams, and endless daylight, the calves. They will run and butt heads, learning the strength they will need when I arrived winter. For now, in the middle of February, they are holding up. On Baffin Island, the sun barely rises. Here the Arctic fox, Vulpes lagopus, moves freely. It is made for this world. Short legs, body compact, snout and ears small to preserve heat. His fur is white, thick and flawless. Against the snow he fades, a ghost about ice. The fox never stays still by a lot time. Jog around the bay, frozen with its tail waving like a plume. With its snout crouching, he zigzags, moving his ears, picking up faint sounds under the snow. Somewhere down below, a lemming wakes up. The fox waits still, as ice carved. So jumps, high and sudden, diving with the snout first into the airstream. The snow explodes. Sometimes a meal wriggles between its jaws, sometimes only air. Today, it's luck. The fox is an opportunist. When the bear feasts, the fox waits. He approaches stealthily when the head turns, launching itself forward to snatch pieces of fat or meat. Each piece counts. Each strip of fat feeds another day of activity. The bear growls, the fox returns quickly, but always comes back. He knows that the bear will leave a lot back, but when bear dies of hunger, the fox too, and so has to return to the earth, to the burrows hidden under the snow. There the lemmings burrow and breathe. The fox listens, then another jump, another plunge. The snow splashes, and the success, a body inert between its jaws, swallowed whole, but lemmings are not infinite. The fox must travel far, yet it endures. Its fur preserves his heat. Even in the weeks further dark, the fox prepares for what is by come. Under a pile of snow, you can dig a lair, shallow and secret, where spring will bring new life. The sun already begin to ascend. Soon the light will return with force. The snow will soften and the lemmings will grow in number, reproducing quickly with the heat. The fox will get lustrous thanks to its abundance, fattening up for the coming months. Then, in May, the young, they will come out of their dens. Parents will run tirelessly, carrying back a lemming after other. The puppies, they will play outdoors under a sky that never it gets dark. But that's still this by come. Meanwhile, in the Northwest Territories, where he cold can reach the 18 degrees below zero, only the further resistant endure. Beneath the stillness, life persists. At first, the ptarmigan, Lagopus muta, is invisible. Its pure white feathers blend perfectly with the snow. No shadow, no outline, just he-eyed dark blinks. In summer, it is brown mottled, blending with the tundra rock and the moss. But as the autumn fades and the first ones fall snows, the feathers change, fading until the bird and snow become in one. A perfect camouflage. The bird changes direction, a soft click, a flutter cushioned by he down. Then silence again. The predators they hunt by sight, and the ptarmigan has vanished before they can attack. However, the feathers do more than conceal, they insulate. Each tuft is thick and layered, trapping hare close to the body. Even the legs are feathered. However, food is scarce. The ground this completely frozen, sealed under the ice, but the ptarmigan has adapted. It digs with its beak, scraping the bark to reach willow shoots and birch branches buried underground. Their craws fill with these remains woody. It will be enough to keep her alive. When the danger is approaching too much, the ptarmigan disappears. It does not launch itself into the distance. Instead, it hides under the snow. With a sudden dives, digs a tunnel with its wings and body. In a matter of seconds, it disappears. Under the blanket of snow, the bird takes refuge in a place warm, safe from owls and foxes. Silent and motionless, the ptarmigan waits until it passes he danger. Then it rises, the snow scatters in a cloud white about white. Her wings beat the air cold. The illusion of emptiness is broken only for an instant. Then bird glides low over the tundra and lands, disappearing a time further. The predators, they never give up. However, the ptarmigan survives thanks to its large numbers. The flocks gather in tens, sometimes in hundreds, eating together, watching together. Many eyes mean many warnings. When A undertakes he flight, the sky fills with wings and the air vibrates with it roar of flight. Still thus, survival has a cost. In it cold, further intense, many will perish. Hunger takes its toll price. For each loss will be born a new life. Now, under the canopy frozen with fir and birch trees, the promise of spring awaits. The sun rises every day, the nights are getting shorter, the snow softens, and as the first shoots fill with sap, the ptarmigan will transform again. Its coat white will peel off, revealing a brown mottled. Soon the males will issue a rasping, guttural call, claiming their tundra areas. Wings will flash, tails will spread, voices will rise in the air open. The tranquility of winter will give way to a season of urgency, rivalry, and renewal. In the mountains, Rocky Mountains Canadians, spring has arrived. Starts he thaw. A is born new season. Deep in a den excavated on top of a pending, the brown bear, Ursus arctos horribilis, moves. For half a year it has slept. Now it's the world calls him back. With a leap he stands up. His figure this emaciated, with the muscles stretched about a bone. Every step is heavy, unsteady. This weak, but his hunger is immense. Months of fasting have weakened. He advances through the snow, making his way to open country. Below, the forest stirs. The birds they sing where before reigned he silence. The crows they croak. The earth comes back to life. The bear descends, guided by his nose toward forward. The sense of smell of a grizzly bear is unmatched. It can detect food from miles away. Animal carcasses dead during he winter. Weakened moose by he cold, roots and shoots pushing their way through the soil thawed. Any stuff serves. In it, bottom of the valley, life blooms. The meadows are wet by he melt water. The grass tender grows. The squirrels terrestrial run between the holes. For the bear, each one is an opportunity to eat. He lunges, striking with the force of a hammer, but the rodent is fast and disappears underground. The rivers, they roar with meltwater. Salmon hasn't run yet. That's the gift of summer. For now the bear travels banks and meadows, raising stones in searching for insects and tearing them apart, logs rotten in searching for larvae. It goes deep in the breeding areas of the moose. Females protect fiercely to their young, but a calf, lonely, lost or weak, becomes easy prey. The bear attacks, taking advantage of the opportunity. A massacre means days of food, strength restored and domain renewed. Others also appear bears, a mother with cubs, careful and cautious. She avoids it as it is dangerous. A hungry male represents a threat to their young. Their paths cross only briefly. Their growl is low. His body protects its cubs. It retreats, disappearing at the edge of the forest. The brown bear continues forward. Mark the trees with their smell, rising to scratch the bark and rub his enormous body against the logs. These are statements of power, warnings to rivals. The forests of Jasper and Banff are vast, but their territories overlap. Sooner or later there will be clashes. For now, food dominates. Start roots, grazes sprouts and looks for carrion. Little by little its thinness disappears, the muscles thicken, the fat returns, his strength increases. Soon the females will enter in zeal. It will begin he courtship. Rival males. They will collide, roaring and charging in demonstrations of power. The most strong will win the right to engender the next generation, but that belongs to the next weeks. Meanwhile, in the prairies open, huge flocks appear in her horizon, spots dark ones that transform on flapping wings. The migrants return, geese, snowy cranes, sandhill cranes and ducks. They arrive in waves, thousands and thousands. The birds, they've traveled hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles from the Gulf Coast, from Mexico to South America. Now they gather where the snow has receded, feeding on the fresh grass shoots and fallen grain. Snow geese settle in flocks of a white blinding. They cover fields and swamps as live snow. All the birds swoop down about a space, stretching he neck and beaks, touching her floor thawed. When the alarm sounds, they rise together. The sandhill cranes follow. Tall and elegant, their cries are heard kilometers. Baritone through the meadow, announcing itself with calls wild and resonant. The courtship starts almost immediately. The pairs leap into the air, wings spread and legs dangling. They bow, dance, and respond with matching calls. The ducks, in change, they demand ponds and swamps. Males display his plumage, females observe and choose. Mating rituals develop in her water with splashing and chasing. The heavens are full. The earth resonates with life. Each return is a bet. However, the predators also lurk close. The eagles they fly over. Coyotes lurk in the limits, but the birds persist. Here, in our vast plains, begins he future of countless generations. Far away to the east, they stir the Ontario wetlands. The ice fractures and retreats, and the large marshes expand with the meltwater. Between these flooded channels wake up another family, the beavers. Throughout he winter they remained in their burrows, leaning in wood stashes buried under the ice. Their prey they resisted the snow and the freezing cold. Now, with the start of the thaw, they emerge again. The adult pair swims out first. Flat tails hit the surface in warning sign. To your around, the wetland comes alive. The frogs they croak from the puddles thawed. The rats, muskrats, flutter among the reeds. The herons lurk in the shallow waters, but the most urgent, the dam, demands attention. Winter has taken its toll, his price. Floods, they have displaced the wood. The couple does not lose the time. With powerful jaws, talons small shoots, with teeth sharp, they tear off branches, they drag them through channels and fit them together. They cover them with mud and reeds, sealing the leaks. The dam is restored and the pond secured. Within his lodge, life this in motion. The young are born in spring, tiny, blind and helpless. Their safety depends completely from the structure that their parents maintain. Here in this pond, the deep water keeps the predators at bay and facilitates the passage between feeding areas. Parents work tirelessly. They remodel rivers, redirect streams, and flood sections whole forest. Where once flowed water, now stillness reigns. A wetland expands, new life emerges. The ducks nest in the reeds, the fish gather in ponds further deep. Insects swarm about shallow waters stagnant. The beaver's work transforms the land. Evening falls, but his job continues. Branch after branch are dragged to the dam. The beavers dive in and emerge. The young, they meow inside the burrow, waiting. Soon they will venture out, learning to swim, to build, to harvest. For now your world is warm, safe and secure. The spring season has also transformed Newfoundland and Quebec to the east. Here, when the snow retreats, they appear the moose, alces, figures imposing, legs long, snouts wide, hungry. Winter it was cruel. The bark and twigs barely the maintained alive. Now shoots tender they spring from the thaw. They feed urgently. For cows the urgency is greater acute, are loaded with young. Among the willow thickets arrives a new life. A calf, small, fragile, trembling on unsteady legs. He takes his first steps in a matter of hours, staggering, collapsing, getting back up, must stand, must go on. His survival depends on it. The mother remains near. His eyes search in the trees. His ears never rest. The predators, they wait. A black bear moves through the undergrowth. It has scented the calf and is moving forward. The cow reacts. It charges. The bear stops, scared by his fury. A blow from its front paws could kill him. The bear backs away. The calf survives, but the danger never disappears. Coyotes are prowling by her forest edge. The lynxes, they wait in silence. A calf that strays, even some few steps, could get lost. Meanwhile, the males begin his own transformation. His antlers, they return. At first, stumps velvety, then a crown of bone branched. They feed in loneliness, accumulating energy for the battles to come in autumn. For now they keep their distance. The forest turns green again quickly. The ferns unfurl. The birch's young people spread toward his sky. The moose are feeding in the marshes. Their legs they carry easily through swamps too much deep for others' animals. The calf it grows. Every day it grows more strong. It tests he world with small ones jumps. The cow grazes but never relaxes, its coming other threat. A coyote, it circles in the shadows. The calf stays paralyzed. The cow lowers its head with its ears flat and the body in balance. He charges again. The coyote flees. For the summer, the calf will be fast. He will learn to swim, to run away by the forest and the swamp. But in her first weeks, your life hangs by a thread. Evening falls. The cow accommodates your calf in the grass high, but she doesn't sleep deeply. Every whisper keeps her alert. Meanwhile, in Ontario in spring, with the water open, the loons, Gavia, Immer, are returning. They're coming from the south, with outstretched wings, red eyes, fixed in the brilliant lakes. Their wild cries resonate in her thaw. A pair lands. They skim across the surface, sleek and confident. For them this lake is yours home. They reproduced here year past. They will reproduce again here. The loons remain together for life. Males and females meet in the same waters every spring. They swim together. They call in duet. But there is no time to lose. The season is short. They must build a nest. They seek on the shores of the lake, a quiet cove, a low shore, a place hidden by the reeds. The nest has to be near water. Loons don't walk well. Her legs are too much back and their bodies too much heavy. Only at the water's edge they can raise their young. The male drags the reeds, the female drags them. Sort, they add mud, they add twigs. Little by little, a mound takes shape. The work is urgent. Waves may rise. They may come predators, but they continue. Piece after piece, the nest grows, but they are not alone. Other loon crashes into the water, a rival. The pair defend themselves. They launch themselves. They flap their wings. The water springs up. For minutes, the chaos. Finally, the intruder retreats. Now the bond deepens. They launch together. They emerge in unison. They rise, chest to chest, calling. Soon the nest will be ready. The female settles in. She lays an egg, then another. Incubation begins. They take turns. One takes care of the other. He nest, the other patrol, he lake. Every threat is real. A turtle biter wait down below. A seagull plans up. Even a raccoon can prowl the shore. But the couple remains alert. They protect the eggs with their bodies. They cover them with reeds when they emerge. Day after day, the lake changes. The frogs, they sing during the night. Dragonflies flutter about he water. Schools of minnows float in the shallow waters. Loons dive deeply. They hunt with ease. Their bodies are made for him water, long, narrow, fast. They chase perch and trout. They return with their bellies full, ready for the long haul wait. At dusk, her cries rise again. Moans, disturbing sounds that are heard kilometers. Life stirs inside the eggs. Soon the chicks will be born, small, soft, helpless. They will climb onto their parents' backs, safe above he water. They will ride through waves and storms, but for now the parents are waiting. Spring in Ontario is short. The forests are already darkening with leaves. Already the insects buzz further strong on the shore. Meanwhile, in Alberta, spring returns to the parks. Here, farms spread by everywhere. The towns are close, but nature resists. In these confines, the red fox, Vulpes, thrives. A vixen emerges from its den. Its fur shines against the pale earth. She has been hidden all he winter. Now their offspring are lists. From the darkness they appear small figures, fox cubs. Their fur is soft, their steps unsteady. They blink in the light. They've never seen the world. The fox them observe carefully. Puppies are fragile, still blind to danger. Still depends on each of your movements. The lair, it is well chosen, dug under the roots, hidden near a hedge, just enough close enough to the fields near the feces humans. The puppies. They stumble forward, they chase each other clumsily, they pull their tails, they bite their ears. The game teaches them. The fox leaves them struggle, but she this alert. A hawk flies in circles. A coyote could cross fence. You must keep your family safe. Food is vital. Every day you must hunt. He sneaks away silently among the grass, his ears. They turn, attentive to the slight whisper of the mice. She freezes. So jump high, landing accurately. Catch a mouse, it's a job, fast. He takes it back with his jaws tight around the treat. The puppies gather around enthusiastically. They devour the food. For them, this is their first bite of meat. The fox dog also returns. Has been hunting further far away, crossing fields of crops and ditches. Rabbits, birds, even remains of containers bring them everyone back to the den. Together the pair feeds their young and cares for them. Back in the lair, the game resumes. The puppies fall to the ground between the dust. They pounce about the grasshoppers. They stalk each other in ambushes. Weeks pass. Their fur darkens, their paws strengthen. Their vision sharpens against the flash of prey. Now they move away more from the den, The fox calls them with a bark sharp, but she can't protect them forever. An owl flies low, a puppy runs to hide, but another stays paralyzed. The fox attacks, but it is too late. Still, most survive. They follow their parents to the fields at dusk. They watch, they listen, they learn. The grassland is abundant in spring. For him summer, the puppies they will hunt by yes alone. They will pursue mice by the hayfields. They will slip through the shadows near the barns. Some will stay close, others will move away. But now in spring, family life is everything. The fox rests at the mouth of the burrow. The pups snuggle up against it. The foxdog lies close, moving his ears at each sound. In the shallow waters of Ontario and Quebec, a voice rises, thin, high, relentless. Another joins in, then hundreds, then thousands. These are froglets of the species Pseudacris cruciferus, no more larger than a thumb. However, their singing reaches far. Each male calls urgently. It is a challenge to the rivals, an invitation to couples. They inflate their throats as balloons. The skin stretches, a pulse fast of effort. The sound bursts forth, sharp and strident, the energy burning fast. The bodies tremble. But the call has to continue. How much further, the stronger the note, the greater the chance of being chosen. Attracted by this orchestra, the females move by he water. They weigh their decisions. They look for force in persistence, clarity in he tone. When the decision is made, pairs are formed. They lay their eggs in groups anchored to reeds and stems. Small black dots on a gelatinous mass, but they are vulnerable, exposed. Predators, the surround. The salamanders they plan through the shallow waters. The beetles they hunt in he water. The fish they bite the drifting eggs. Just a few survive. From the darkness a heron stops and then lunges. Its beak crosses he water. A frog disappears in one gulp. Others fall before the snakes. Still the frogs they follow. They pass the days. The eggs begin to change. Small shapes stir in its interior. The gelatin vibrates with life. Soon they emerge the tadpoles, small, dark, wriggling. They cling to plants. They feed on algae. They grow. But they also run risks. Dragonfly larva launches itself. Its jaws snap open. Another tadpole has disappeared. Survival is a matter of numbers. Thousands of offspring they have laid eggs. Only one fraction will emerge from the water. Weeks pass. Bodies move. Tails shorten. Legs appear. The figure of a frog begins to form. They climb onto the floating leaves, even small and fragile, but ready to land. The first jump is uncertain, the second more strong. Finally, they disappear into the grass. They are the following chorus. Back in the wetlands, the adults continue. Night after night, the song plays again, mark the change of season. For the summer, the chorus will fade away. The frogs will scatter. By the forests, feeding on insects, hiding under the leaves. But now in spring, the wetlands belong to your voice. Not very far away, under a fir tree fallen, hidden deep in the forest, it moves a lair. For months, everything has been still, silent, but now there is movement. A bear black, Ursus americanus, is removed in the darkness. Hunger eats away at her, the long fast this coming to an end. To its side, small figures push and stretch. 1-year-olds, born he previous winter. They have grown during the cold months, thanks to its milk, safe in the heat of the den. Now must follow her as much as possible there. The mother makes her way through the snow. Her fur is heavy and dull from hibernation. She blinks in the light. The foals stumble after her. Their steps are clumsy. The layer of snow breaks beneath their feet. Snorts, warning. The pups huddle together, sensing his alarm. The male watches and then moves away. The days lengthen. Shoots greens they drill he forest floor. Skunk cabbage unfolds in the marshes. The mother carries her cubs to feed. They sniff around the leaves and chew the stems tender. At night, the puppies climb a tree. At a great height, they cling to the branches. Safe from the predators, rest. The mother waits below, vigilant. At dawn, it emits a soft cry. They descend at full speed, hurry to follow her again. Every day the puppies become further daring. They chase each other through the undergrowth. They fight, testing their muscles. The mother guide every day more far away, through clearings, going deeper in valleys, along rivers grown by heath-thaw. It shows them where find food, how climb and when hide. In summer will know he rhythm of the forest. They will look for berries in the bushes. They will destroy logs full of insects. They will fish salmon when the rivers are full of life. But now in spring it's enough to learn. Step by step, the puppies they learn he world that there is more beyond the den. The season changes again, and now it's summer. Along the Pacific coast, the ocean stretches immense. Beneath the waves, shadows move purposefully. Black and white, elegant, powerful. A pod of killer whales, Orcinus orca. They ply the sea with the family. In it, heart of the pack, a matriarch leads. She's old, wise, she knows the currents, she knows the hunting grounds. Their calls resonate in her water. The family listens. To their side, the mothers swim, strong and firm. Their young cling to their flanks. Born in a winter cold, the youths face her first summer true. The young emerge to the surface in gusts fast. They gasp, they dive again, still clumsy, still learning to breathe precisely. Their mothers guide them, going up and down in calm, in unison. The hunt begins, the matriarch snaps and whistles. The family extends widely. Echolocation reveals what the eyes cannot. Beneath the surface, the salmon crowd together in banks. They go upstream. The orcas approach. The calves observe as the adults they work together. The pack squeezes the fish to form groups further compact. The flashes from the tails scatter the salmon. Confusion, panic. A mother walks slowly, waiting for his breeding. She pushes him toward forward, urging him to chase. The calf charges forward clumsily at first, then more fast. His jaws snap shut. Success, his first capture. The herd responds with clicks of approval. The hunt continues. The powerful tails swish the sea. The salmon jump, some escape. Many do not. The family feeds. The young they learn to share. They throw away leftovers, guided carefully by their mothers who allow them try it. The surface of the ocean bursts of activity. The young, they jump out of the water, spinning clumsily before falling back down. The matriarch emerges, hit her water with the tail. It is a signal. The pack regroups. They have the stomach full. Summer offers more than salmon. Seals bask in the sun, the outcrops rocky. The herd knows his or her well place, but today the seals remain safe. This hunt is for the youths. The young, they follow their mothers, imitating each movement. They dive to greater depths and hold their breath. By further time. Above, seabirds fly in circles and screeches. The seagulls swoop down, dive to collect the remains that remain. Meanwhile, the young ones become further bold. They chase each other among the algae banks. They twist and roll, leaving traces bubbling in their wake. The game sharpens the reflections and the prepare for survival. But the dangers lurk. A lone bull appears in a horizon. Its fin rises as a candle flame. The matriarch, he answers cautiously. This is his family. He protects them fiercely. The bull keeps his distance. Day by day, the calves are made further strong. Summer won't last. They will come storms. The prey will disperse. The difficulties will return. But for now, in our waters calm and wealthy, the orca family thrives. Meanwhile, on the northern tundra, a movement begins. A line of shadows appears against the bright horizon. Caribou, Rangifer tarandus. The herd stretches as far as reaches the sight. The migration continues as it has done during millennia. The caribou stop in the rich pastures. Lichens, mosses and herbs cover the ground. Endless grazing begins. Heads lower, snouts move from side to other. Among them the calves, they trot near their mothers. They were born weak and staggering just a few weeks, but now continue he rhythm of the pack. His legs are made further strong, their bodies are filled, but the predators also prowl the boundaries. Wolves follow the pack, waiting for a mistake. The pups stay close to their mothers, protected by his number. The pack keep it up quickly when danger lurks too much. Here the light never goes out. The day fades away after the day, the sun suspended about her horizon. The caribou graze during long hours, resting only briefly. The tundra teems with insects. Clouds of mosquitoes rise in dense swarms. The animals, they advance, heads bowed and blinking at the buzz, constant. Despite the difficulties, the calves prosper. Soon be ready for the endless kilometers that mark the autumn. For now, the tundra is abundant, and the herd makes the most of what he can. Far away, where the land meets the Atlantic, another world teems with life. The steep ones, Newfoundland cliffs, rise abruptly from the sea. The wind hits the stone. The waves break below. Above, the sky fills with wings. They return the puffins Atlantic, Fratercula Arctic. Thousands of people crowd together in the cliffs, each pair excavating or recovering burrows on the thin earth. The walls, rocky, resonate with their songs. Underground, hidden from view, they have started small lives. Puffins, small, fluffy and hungry. Parents work tirelessly. They fly offshore, flapping their wings rapidly. Short, stubby wings, designed for diving, in place to plan. But in he water, the puffins transform. They dive beneath the waves, their beaks dig in the schools of fish. Dozens of capelin silver cross with a single bite. Back to the cliffs they fly, the fish already are delivered. The burrows move, puffins are feeding, one and the other. Once again, the parents return to the sea. They spend hours flying and diving. The cycle never ends. Some trips have success, others fail. The seagulls patrol the skies, ready to catch an easy prey. At first glance, the puffins, they seem comedians. Bright beaks, bodies round, and a walk clumsy on earth. However, his task is very serious. In a few weeks, the puffins must grow enough to face the ocean alone. The colony bustles tirelessly. Thousands of calls fill the air. Below, the burrows extend in all addresses, each one with her own chick hungry. As they pass by the days, the puffins are turning further fat people. The feathers soft give way to coats waterproof. Their eyes adapt to the light more beyond the burrow. Soon they will be gone. They will give he jump from the cliff into the sea. The parents do not continue. The young must to take care of oneself by year same. Further west, the ground rises abruptly. The mountains, Rocky Mountains, rise toward he sky, covered with snow summer. Even here among the steep cliffs, the air rarefied and the scarce grass, life prospers. In a steep hillside, a movement is perceived. A herd of sheep, wild boar, Ovis canadensis. The sheep lead he path and the lambs the follow closely. Their coats blend into the rock, their hooves grip the ledges. This is a world of stone and risk. A lamb takes a hesitant step, the ledge narrows. Below is a precipice, the mother waits, firm, patient. The lamb trembles, then jump, the helmets land correctly. Our young must learn fast, predators can't follow the sheep where they dare. The pumas lurk down below, the coyotes are prowling the edges. But in the cliffs, the sheep are safe. The herd grazes in fine clumps of grass alpine. The lambs, they imitate their mothers, bending down and pulling their stems sparse. About the rams move on their own. Their enormous horns curve in heavy spirals. They do not form part of the breeding herds. Their battles they arrive further afternoon in autumn, when he clash of horns will decide he domain. For now, the lambs they learn under the supervision of their mothers. A sudden rock fall makes the stones fall to the ground. The herd freezes. The ears move nervously, eyes scan the cliffs. Then, with a movement frantic, they climb, up and away. Hooves dig in on the rock. The lambs they follow, climbing, jumping, clinging. In a matter of seconds, they disappear. Inland higher, safe one time further. Meanwhile, the summer also reigns in northern Canada. Hudson Bay is immense, a sea within a continent. For most of the year it remains frozen. The darkness spreads for long months. Few creatures support her conditions. But now, with the thaw, occurs transformation. At the mouths of the big rivers, the Churchill, the Nelson and the Seal, the water runs further warmer than the bay. Shallow channels weave through the tidal flats. Here the belugas, Delphinapterus lucus, arrive. First, how many forms ghostly beneath the surface, then more, dozens, hundreds, thousands. An entire population advances river up. Backs white break the surface. Columns of water rise and disappear. The air is filled with whistles, clicks and trills. Belugas are unlike any other whale, small and robust. They have a rounded head crowned by melons bulbous. They lack a dorsal fin. Their back is smooth and curved. Their skin shines with a pure white in the adults and grey in young. Against the water dark, shine as ghosts. This meeting is no coincidence. The rivers offer shelter. Here the water is more warmer than in the bay open, safer from hunting orcas in the edge of the ice, protected from the storms that shake the sea. The whales they come to rest, to heal, to raise their young. Belugas roll and twist in shallow waters. His skin peels off sheets. The layers old ones come off. Underneath lies a fresh, soft and clean skin. Shedding is vital. Rivers act as natural spas, where sand and gravel they scrape the dead, leaving the whales renewed for 1 year further in the ice. Mothers take care of their calves. Small, dark, grey bodies are pressed against their sides. The newborns born they breathe in bursts fast, getting up frequently, anxious and clumsy. Mothers guide them gently, lifting them with a small push, and return in circle when they stray. The young always are in danger. The bears polar they wait on the banks. If a calf is approaching too much to the shallow waters, the bear will attack. A single mistake could be fatal. But in number, belugas are strong. Whales communicate constantly. Squeaks, squeals, hisses and clicks. These sounds guide them through the rivers muddy. They tie mothers to their calves. They wove the sheath together. The game fills the water. The whales chase each other in circles closed. They splash, roll and push. They imitate their mothers, diving and surfacing in a rhythmic rehearsed. As the tide rises, the estuaries swell. Whales enter further on earth. When the tide goes out, the waves return to the bay. Their lives here, they follow the influence of the moon, entering and leaving, over and over, time. The days are long, the sun barely sets, it rises again. Time is money. In a matter of weeks, the rivers will cool down. The bay will begin his return march toward the ice. Belugas must be prepared. His calves must grow strong. Your skin has to renew itself. For now, the estuaries continue being a sanctuary. Summer also extends through all the heart of Canada. Mosquitoes are on the rise in vast clouds. Dragonflies make their way through the swarms. They are predators. Mosquitoes are trapped in full flight in a fraction of a second. The frogs they jump from the reeds, biting the air. The swallows they fly and twist about the fields, stitching his sky with arcs of movement. At dusk, the bats emerge from the gaps in the trees, their wings whispering against the twilight. They make their way through the clouds of insects, feeding in silence. Dragonflies. They hunt during the day. They reign in the summer air. However, even they are prey. The frogs lurk, the birds. They attack without warning. In this time of abundance, the feast never ends. Every insect caught feeds to other. Along the meadows, the grass bends in the sun. If a calf is approaching too much to the shallow waters, the bear will attack. A single mistake could be fatal. But in number, belugas are strong. Whales communicate constantly. Squeaks, squeals, hisses, and clicks. These sounds guide them through the rivers muddy. They tie mothers to their calves. They wove the sheath together. The game fills he water. The whales chase each other in circles closed. They splash, roll, and push. They imitate their mothers, diving and surfacing in a rhythmic rehearsed. As the tide rises, the estuaries swell. Whales enter further on earth. When the tide goes out, the waves return to the bay. Their lives here, they follow the influence of the moon, entering and leaving, over and over, time. The days are long, the sun barely sets, it rises again. Time is money. In a matter of weeks, the rivers will cool down. The bay will begin his return march toward he ice. Belugas must be prepared. His calves must grow strong. Your skin has to renew itself. For now, the estuaries continue being a sanctuary. Summer also extends through all he heart of Canada. Mosquitoes are on the rise in vast clouds. Dragonflies make their way through the swarms. They are predators. Mosquitoes are trapped in full flight in a fraction of a second. The frogs, they jump from the reeds, biting the air. The swallows, they fly and twist about the fields, stitching his sky with arcs of movement. At dusk, the bats emerge from the gaps in the trees, their wings whispering against the twilight. They make their way through the clouds of insects, feeding in silence. Dragonflies. They hunt during the day. They reign in the summer air. However, even they are prey. The frogs lurk, the birds. They attack without warning. In this time of abundance, the feast never ends. Every insect caught feeds to other. Along the meadows, the grass bends in the sun. The wildflowers dye the meadows. Butterflies move from a stem to other. The monarchs are here in large numbers with vibrant orange and black tones on he green. They feed on milkweed. Their toxins pass into their bodies, leaving a taste bitter. Few predators dare to touch them. They drink deeply from the nectar. They lay eggs on the leaves of the milkweed. Soon their time here will end. A journey awaits them, thousands of miles, towards the south, towards Mexico, where the forests await, protect them from the winter, but that still this by arrive. In this moment, the monarchs, they charge force. His wings open and close in a rhythm constant. They rise in the air. They float in the breeze and settle back among the flowers. Insects shape it everything. Without them, the prairies would remain in silence. The birds would disappear. The frogs would die of hunger. The bats would disappear from the sky. During the day, the meadow is full of dragonflies. At night, the boreal forest buzzes with mosquitoes. A life feeds to other. For the swallow chicks waiting in their nests in the cliffs, every mosquito matters. Parents return one and the other time, with the peaks full of food. For the bats, raising their young in trees' hollows, the swarms are survival same. Even the fish under the surface of the prairie ponds await the faint ripples of the landing insects in he water. Meanwhile, the monarchs continue with the season. Those from Alberta and Manitoba will soon join to others of everything he continent, all attracted to the south by instinct. Summer. It seems endless, but it isn't. The light has already begun to change. The days are getting shorter, gradually. Insects feel it. Dragonflies complete their life cycles quickly. Mosquitoes reproduce in frantic succession. The monarchs prepare to continue forward. Meanwhile, the land between the Lake Winnipeg and the Lake Manitoba is wide and low. The prairies wet shine with the heat. Here, under the grass and stones, the flanked garter snake red snails, Tamnophis cirtalis parietalis, have not disappeared. Not by a long shot, less. In May, they emerged from the ground in quantities amazing. Tens of thousands rose together, emerging from stone layers, limestone, males in frantic groups, females breaking free. The largest concentration of snakes in the world, but spring is already here. Happened, the mating frenzy, it's over. Now, in the middle of summer, the snakes spread by the landscape. They move through the grass, they slide under the bushes and slide by the edges of the ponds. They lie down about rocks warm, its scales reflect the sun. The air is dense, but for a creature of blood cold, the heat is life. Dozens of snakes coil together, motionless at first glance. But look up close. Tongues move, tasting the air. The bodies move, restless and alert. The frogs lurk in the shallow waters. The tadpoles group together near the reeds. The fish small break the surface, producing faint waves. The snakes. They attack quickly, with their jaws snapping around dams slippery. These snakes are not big. They measure about a meter, maximum. However, its hunger keeps them in movement. A frog, a fish, an earthworm in damp soil. However, the predators stalk them constantly. The herons lurk in the shallow waters. The hawks, they fly in circles above. The foxes wait in the edge of the fields. A snake in open country, it is vulnerable. However, the abundance provides security. A hawk can catch a fox can catch another, even so many they remain. During the day they sunbathe, at night they take shelter. Hollow trunks, grass thick, cracks in the lime. Among the beneficiaries further hungry wait other player, the grizzly bear, Ursus arctos horribilis. From the high passes the families descend to the valleys. The puppies, born in the burrows the previous winter, they stumble after their mothers. They are clumsy still, but strong and curious. The air, it smells like fish. The rivers resonate with splashes. The party has begun. A bear enters in shallow waters. Its long, curved claws dig in the wave. A salmon thrashes and falls limp. He carries it to the shore, leaving it fall before their offspring. These, they bite the flesh that will allow them survive the cold months ahead. Each bear here, this competing against him winter. The rule is simple. Eat or die. Every bite is fat, stored under the skin. It may be that salmon this in his last chapter, but for the bears, this is the season of opportunity. Not everyone, the fish, eat each other whole. Some are half-eaten. Crows swoop down about these remains. Insects also crawl. The bears pounce and face each other, defending themselves. The best fishing spots. The males howl at each other, with their corpulence undulating with strength. Mothers keep their cubs close, wary of their rivals. Sometimes the river seems boil of salmon and predators. However, as the days grow shorter, the urgency intensifies. The salmon migration won't last. The window is brief. Soon the rivers will meet again in silence. The fish will have exhausted. The bears must leave with the belly full, with the body packed with the fat that will allow them survive hibernation. The snow will soon arrive. The rivers will freeze. The forest will remain in silence, and with it, the bears. Far to the south, on the plains of Alberta, a long, resonant clarion full the air. It is the voice of the moose, Cervus canadensis. Here, too, the autumn is a season of rivalry. The rut has begun. Rival males wander around by the meadows. Every call is a warning for the other males and one promise for waiting females. Two bulls meet. They circle around, their gazes fixed. Tension goes in increase. With a surge of force they charge. The antlers they collide, resonating as wood beaten by iron. They push and wriggle, each seeking lever. it rises dust. The fight is fierce, violent and swift. When one falters, the other advance and achieve victory. The winner gathers his harem. Dozens of cows remain close, attracted by his strength, protected by his domain. For a brief time, he reigns supreme. However, the challenges never cease. Every dawn brings new rivals. Every evening entails he risk of defeat. Bugle call continues. It's coming, he winter. And with it, it will begin again, life challenge in the north. Eastern forests of North America are changing. The first fresh winds slide between the maples and oaks. Between the whisper of the branches, a small figure jumps. A flash of red fur, a flick of a tail. The squirrel red, Squirrels vulgaris. From New England to the Great Lakes, squirrels prosper in the canopy changing. And now, while the days are getting shorter and the nights are getting colder, one task at hand consumes them. Store food. Each pineapple, each nut, each seed, it matters. A squirrel jumps by a branch. Its claws grip the bark. It stops, sniffs, and grabs a fir cone between his teeth. In one leap, suddenly, disappears in the understory. Moments then, he runs back by other trunk, looking more. A squirrel can collect thousands of pine cones in just a few weeks. Each one is transported one by one to hiding places hidden. Some are buried underground, others are embedded in tree hollows. Many are piled up in garbage dumps, secrets, carefully protected from the rivals. Time is precious. Winter this near, the squirrels do not rest. At dawn, they are already working. At noon, they climb up a canopy with the look attentive in searching for acorns, beech nuts, and pine nuts. At dusk, they fade into the shadows to begin again the next day. Each hiding place is remembered with astonishment precision. Long after the leaves have turned fallen and snow is sealed the forest floor, squirrels will return to discover its treasures, but the competition is fierce. Jays, squirrels striped, and mice observe carefully, ready to steal whatever they can. Even other squirrels could rob a neighbor's store if the opportunity arises. The squirrels' reds are fiercely territorial. A chatter sharp bursts in among the trees, shrill and insistent. A rival has approached too much. The defender, it lashes its tail, scolds with furious cries and charges. Intruders are pursued with relentless determination. Still thus, the forest is generous. The oaks release their acorns in abundance. The walnut trees leave fall walnuts, heavy ones that crunch when they hit the ground. Conifers, they release pine cones that scatter seeds through the leaf litter. Squirrels catch them all with teeth designed to gnaw shells hard, and jaws sufficiently strong as if to pierce the guts further hard. But the danger this in everywhere. A falcon flies over, silent and patient. The squirrel stays paralyzed, crushed against the bark, with the body hidden in the stillness. They pass some moments. The shadow fades away. Then, as if nothing had happened, past. The squirrel launches itself back towards forward, grabbing other prize. And as the autumn advances, the frenzy only grows. The squirrels they work with, energy tireless, driven because of the urgency. For them, there is no delay. You have to save the pine cones, hide the nuts, fill the forest of pantries secret before it arrives he winter. Soon the leaves will fall, soon the snow will cover the floor. The forest will remain in silence under the weight of ice and frost. But for now, in these fleeting autumn days, the squirrels they run toward forward. Meanwhile, the Atlantic cools with the New Year's Eve. The days are getting shorter. The nights are longer, cold. Along the coasts of New England and Nova Scotia, the sun sets and the waters darken with the arrival of winter. This is the Bay of Fundy. The tides here are the most greats of the earth. Throughout the summer, these waters, they have teeming with life. Plankton blooms fed schools of fish. The fish fed giants. And now, as they fade away the autumn, The giants prepare to leave. A whale humpback, Megaptera novae Angliae, emerges to the surface. His breath rises as a steam column in the air icy. Another follows, and then another. Families gather their young at their mothers' sides. They have eaten well here, absorbing the energy of the north. But the feast is over. The time has come to travel south. Their fins rise, dark against the grey sea, before slipping beneath the waves. Every movement of their tails drives a journey of thousands of kilometers. This migration the will take from these stormy northern seas to the warm, shallow waters of the Caribbean. There they will breed and give birth, protected from the cold of the north. Among them there is another traveler further queer, the North Atlantic right whale, Eubalina glacialis. Huge and slow, marked by calluses white on the head, it slides by the bay with silent dignity. They remain less than 400 specimens. Each one is precious. They should also set off for the southern coasts of Georgia and Florida. There females will give birth in warmer seas. Calm down, their journey is dangerous. Fishing nets, collisions with ships, and the hunger threatens them in each stage. For both whales humpbacks. As for the Franks, this is not just a journey, it is survival, the turn of a wheel that has turned during millennia. Stay over there would mean die, trapped by he ice and the empty. To leave is to embrace the promise of a new life. The Bay of Fundy calms down as whales move away. Now, the year changes one time further. Winter takes hold of the land. The forests remain motionless under the snow thick. The rivers lie sealed by he ice. However, in he silence, beauty stirs. Curtains of green light wave in he darling nocturnal. The dawn, born of storms solar, dance on lakes ice cream and sleeping forests. Under the snowbanks, the bears lie in their dens. Their bodies slow down, their breathing is shallow. The puppies are born in silence, blind and helpless, fed by he warmth of breast milk. Throughout the rivers, salmon bones lie scattered. Their bodies abandoned on the banks, and in shallow waters feed foxes, wolves, and eagles. Its nutrients are filtered out in the soil, feeding the roots of the trees that will bloom again with the arrival of spring. Thanks to their sacrifice, the forest will rise again with renewed vigor. Above the Darling, this further empty now. The geese have gone. The warblers, the thrushes and swallows have gone, chasing the sun towards the south. But although he ere this still, surely will return. The cycle is eternal. Every creature, great or small, is linked to it. The whales, they sail the currents oceanic. The bears, they dream in their lairs. The salmon nourish even the forests in his silence. The birds, they fly towards warmth, distant. He reigns winter, but it's not the end, it's just a pause. When I arrive, he thaw, the dance of life will start again.